Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to journey back in time, to the early 1920s, deep into the forests of the Gudem Hills in Andhra Pradesh. It's here that a really powerful and unique tribal rebellion broke out during India's freedom struggle. It's a truly fascinating story of courage, leadership, and the fight to protect a way of life. So let's begin.
We'll explore this story in 4 simple parts. First, we'll see what life was like for the people there. Then we'll meet their incredible leader. After that, we'll look at the rebellion itself. And finally, we'll discover the legacy it left behind.
All right, so first up, let's try to picture the life of the tribal people in the Gudem Hills. You see, to really understand their struggle, we first need to understand their world.
Just imagine living in a place where the forest gives you everything you need. For the people of the Gudem Hills, the forest wasn't just some place, it was their entire life. Their survival literally depended on it. They could let their cattle graze anywhere, they could collect wood for their fires, and gather fruits to eat. The forest was their home, their provider, their everything.
But then, everything changed. The colonial government came in and introduced new forest laws. And just like that, huge parts of the forest were closed off. The hill people were banned from entering. Can you imagine how that must have felt? It shattered their lives. Their livelihoods were gone, and their traditional rights, which their families had for generations, were suddenly denied. And naturally, they were enraged.
And as if that wasn't bad enough, the government started forcing them to do bigar. Now, what was bigar? It was basically forced labor, without any pay at all. The hill people were made to build roads for the British. It was humiliating, it was exhausting, and all this was happening while their own survival was at risk.
So you have this situation, right? People are angry, they're struggling, and right into the middle of all this steps a very special leader. His name was Alluri Sitaram Raju, and he would inspire the people to finally rise up and fight back.
Now, Alluri Sitaram Raju, he wasn't your ordinary leader, not at all. He was this very charismatic, almost magical figure. The tribal rebels were so completely captivated by him that they truly believed he was an incarnation of God sent to help them.
And Raju himself, well, he made some pretty incredible claims that made people believe in him even more. He said he could make accurate astrological predictions. He claimed he had the power to heal people. And get this, he even said that he could survive being shot by a bullet. With claims like these, it's no wonder people followed him without a single question.
Okay, and this is where Raju gets really interesting. His beliefs were quite complex. On the one hand, he was a great admirer of Mahatma Gandhi. He always spoke of Gandhiji's greatness, he persuaded people to wear khadi, and even urged them to give up drinking. But, and this is a big but, he completely rejected Gandhi's most important idea, nonviolence. Raju was absolutely convinced that India could only be freed through the use of force.
So, with Raju as their leader, the hill people began their own fight for Swaraj, or self-rule. But, they saw this big idea in a way that made sense for their own lives.
And let me be clear, this was not a nonviolent struggle. The Gudem rebels used what they knew best, the forest. They fought a militant guerrilla war. What did they do? Well, they attacked police stations, they tried to kill British officials, and used these hit-and-run tactics to challenge the colonial government.
So, what did Swaraj actually mean to them? It wasn't some complex political idea they read in a book. For the tribal peasants of Gudem, it was simple. Swaraj meant getting their traditional rights back in the forest. It meant an end to Begar. For them, it was a time when all their suffering and all their troubles would finally be over.
And here's something that's really quite fascinating. Even though they were using violence, which was the complete opposite of Gandhi's message, the rebels would often chant Mahatma Gandhi's name as they fought. What does that tell us? It shows just how powerful a symbol Gandhi had become for everyone in India, connecting this local struggle to the much larger freedom movement.
So, how did this all end? Let's move to the final part of our story and see what happened to the rebellion and to its extraordinary leader, Alluri Sitaram Raju.
Well, the rebellion raged on for about 2 years. The Gudem rebels fought very bravely, but the colonial state was just too powerful. In 1924, Alluri Sitaram Raju was finally captured and executed. And with his death, the rebellion came to an end. But that wasn't the end of his story. Over time, he became a celebrated folk hero, and his memory lives on today in the songs and stories of Andhra.
So what's the big takeaway here? This story from the Gudem Hills is such a powerful reminder that the fight for freedom wasn't just happening in big cities with famous leaders.
It was also growing out of the real, everyday struggles of ordinary people. Their fight against losing their land, their resistance to forced labor, and their deep need to get their dignity back. So even though their methods were different, their struggle was a vital part of India's larger awakening.
And this leaves us with that really important question to think about. How did these small local struggles, like the one in the Gudem Hills, connect with the big national ideas of Swaraj and freedom? Because it's in those connections that's where we find the true, complex, and powerful story of Indian nationalism. Thank you for joining me.